somebody's job. It's
It's
crazy.
like a tricycle presentation. It just doesn't mean anything. It's just a thing.
What'd you say, a tricycle presentation?
That's the analogy Robert uses when he talks about, haven't you seen my tricycle presentation or my tricycle plan of action?
So I told them the other day that the clients don't know the script. So they should never say or ah or anything. They just have to at least say something because the clients don't know. And I use the example of, well, what makes you different? It's like, oh, well, I have my tricycle marketing. Have you ever heard of that? And they just go, wow, really? What's that? Like, they don't know what you're expected to say. So you should never just go, I'll get back to you. Say something, anything. If you don't know the script. So there you go. Perfect. Okay. Enough fun and games. All right, Mr. Jack Ma. So here we are today. So we constantly try to get people to role play their listing presentation and record it. And we constantly get let down by the number of people that do it. So, such is life. We'll get through it. But I did we get this question a lot doing the virtual listing presentation. We've had all kinds of classes on setting up a virtual listing presentation and things along those lines. So I wanted to actually have someone do a virtual listing presentation. Now, Jack happens to be one of the people that does actually role play his listing presentation and sends it in. Sometimes it's in Chinese, so I have no idea if it's any good, but he'll at least send it in. So I greatly appreciate that. So I asked him if he would do a virtual listing presentation for all of us today, so we could see, one, it actually be done, and two, be done by someone who's a rock star real estate agent. So it's always helpful to do that. So he agreed. And I joked earlier that I had to trick him, but it really wasn't that. I just sent him a text, asked him to do it. And Jack, being the trooper that he is, was like, yeah, sure. I could do it Mondays or Fridays. I was like, Monday's great. So I really appreciate Jack being willing to do that. And to his credit, being the professional that he is, he sent me a pre-listing package. He didn't send it in the mail, but he sent me an email of a pre-listing package. So I have in front of me the net sheet. I have his plan of action. I have everything. I have the CMA, the whole thing. So, it reminds me of Mike Ferry's, a line that we talk about all the time. Mike Ferry says, poor practice, no matter how much you do of it, will not make you any better. And so I give Jack a lot of credit for taking this on and saying, hey, well, here's my pre-listing package. If we're going to do this, let's do it. So Jack, I really do appreciate that. All right. So without further ado, Jack, you have the ability, just to make sure, you have the ability to share your screen and everything, right?
Let me try it.
Yeah. Let's just test that out first. If I have to give you.
I don't know.
Can you see it?
I can see it.
Okay.
Very good. All right, cool. So Jack,
Do we start with the prequel or do we start with?
Yeah, let's start with the prequel and then we'll go into the presentation.
Okay. So just really quick, your house is about just short of 2,400 square feet. You rated 8 out of 10. You already bought a house, so now that house is close as escrow, so that's why you want to sell it.
Where did I buy the new house?
Phillips Ranch.
Phillips Ranch. Okay.
It's because it's closer to work.
Because it's closer to work. Got it. Okay, dude, let's go.
Okay. So I'm assuming this is a phone call. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hello, may I speak to Robert?
Yes, Robert.
Oh, hi, Robert. This is Jack Ma with Century 21. Hey, I want to confirm our meeting, virtual meeting tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Does that time still work well for you?
That works great.
Okay, great. Yeah, so before I come out, there are a couple of questions I want to ask you, just so I can be perfectly aligned with the goal you're trying to achieve. Is it a good time right now?
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic. So after my presentation tomorrow, if what I say makes sense, and then of course you feel comfortable and confident that I can sell your home, are you planning to list your home with me when I come out tomorrow?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, I appreciate that. And now, Robert, at this point, are you planning on interviewing more than one agent for the job of selling the house?
Well, yeah, there was one other agent that I wanted to interview, Jack. That's a more local agent to Riverside.
Okay, a local agent. I
Yeah.
can appreciate that. And do you mind if I ask you who you are interviewing?
Yeah, it's John Smith from Remax over here in Riverside.
Okay, so John Smith. Okay, I heard of him. And
Yeah.
curious, Robert, are you meeting him before me or after me?
After, you're first.
Okay, sure. I certainly appreciate that. And would it be helpful? A lot of my sellers do ask me to bring some information so you guys can make the comparison between the marketing activities and the results offered by different agents. Would it be helpful if I can furnish you those informations?
Yeah, everything you have would be great.
Okay, fantastic. I'll make sure I have those too. And Robert, remind me again, where are you moving to?
Well, we already bought a house in Phillips Ranch because I work over there, so I wanted to be a little bit closer to work.
Yeah, that makes sense. And congratulations on the new purchase.
Thank you.
Now, so if we can get this Riverside home sold in the next 30 days, would that pose any problem for you?
No, I mean, I'd like to have it sold tomorrow because right now I'm carrying 2 mortgages.
Yeah, that's never fun. Yeah, we'll make sure we sell it as soon as we can for the most we want to receive.
Okay.
And Robert, I'll be preparing a net sheet for you, so you know exactly how much you can get after all expenses paid. So what's the mortgage owed on the property?
180,000.
180,000. Good for you. That's a lot of equity.
Yeah.
And what price would you like to receive?
Well, I was hoping to get somewhere around 465, 470.
Okay, sure. So 465, that's very important. Let me write this down. And is there a price you would not want to go below?
Well, I can't necessarily say, I mean, I have to sell it. So I can't say there's a price I won't go below. I mean, but I don't want to sound desperate and just give it away for something really low.
Yeah, no, that's never good. And the good news is in my 10-year careers, I've not given a house away yet. And I don't plan to start with yours.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, sure. And will you finance the home for the buyer or do you just simply want your cash out?
Well, I want all my cash out.
You do want your cash out. Okay. And have you ever thought about selling yourself?
No, selling real estate's not my expertise.
Yeah, no worry. We'll take good care of you. And can you please describe the home for me a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's 4 bedrooms, it's 3 bathrooms, it's, a little bit under 2,400 square feet. It's in good condition, move-in ready. Somebody could, buy it today, move in tomorrow.
Wow, that's so exciting. And let's put it this way. Let's say if you were to rate your property on a scale from 1 to 10, and 10 being like a model home, brand new model home, how would you rate your property?
I would give it an 8.
Wow, that's very good. And what would have to happen to bring that up to a 10?
You'd have to move it to the Pacific Palisades.
No, that's a little bit tricky, but okay, so it's in a very good condition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it tomorrow. And Robert, just so you know, I will be sending over a package information. Do you think you'll have a couple minutes to review that before I arrive?
Yeah, what's in the package?
You know what? Great question. So it contains important information on how together we can get the most money for your property. Now that's pretty important, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think you'll be able to take a quick look?
Yeah, I mean, if that's what I got to do, that's fine.
Okay, sure. I certainly appreciate that. Now, do you have any question before I arrive?
Not at this point. I'm sure I'll have some when we get together.
Okay. And then, I think the package will answer a lot of questions you may already have. And this way will make our meeting more concise and to the point.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So just so you know, the meeting will only take between 5 and 25 minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Great. Oh, will all the decision makers be there?
Yeah, it's just me.
Just you? And then 36 other people on the Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay. I look forward to see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Let me pin Robert's video. Hi, Robert.
Hey, Jack, how's it going?
Yeah, very well. Thank you very much. And I want to start by saying that thank you very much for this opportunity to present my qualification. I look forward to the opportunity to get your home on the market and get your home sold.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, thank you very much to share the FaceTime walkthrough with me yesterday. This really helped me narrow down on what the property looks like and give you a better estimate on the pricing.
Oh, no. Anything I can do to help. I totally get it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And Robert, just so you know, I wrote down some notes. If you can, the video is kind of weird, but I wrote down some notes. So I may be referring to my notes. So if you see me looking away from the camera, that's only because I don't want to miss anything, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, sure. And I like to start the presentation with 3 very important questions.
Okay.
So the first one is, have you decided that you absolutely want to sell this home?
Yeah, I mean, have to sell it. Like I said, we already bought our other place.
You have to. Okay, great. And the second question is that do you want to price your home to sell, or you don't mind living on the market for a long period of time?
Well, I mean, no, I don't want it on the market for a long period of time, but it's priced to sell, not priced to give away.
Of course. And I think I told you in my 10 years career, I haven't done that. And
Right.
I definitely not going to start with yours.
Okay.
Yeah. And the third question is that, I mean, we spoke a couple times and you reviewed the package I sent you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to handle the sales for you?
Well, I mean, we're not quite there yet. I do have some additional questions, and I did tell you I was also going to interview another agent.
No, that's fair enough. So it sounds like you haven't decided to hire me yet, and that's okay, because at the end of the presentation, one of 3 things gonna happen.
Okay.
Number 1, you'll have the opportunity to list your home with me.
Okay.
Number 2, you may decide not to list your home with me.
Okay.
Or number 3, I may decide not to take the listing. And I want to be upfront and letting you know that any one of the 3 is gonna be okay.
Well, what would have to happen for you not to take the listing? I mean, isn't that kind of why we're getting together?
Yeah, that's a great question. Of course, I would like to have your business, but in rare cases, if after our presentation, it's shown that the market, by showing the market, is not meeting your expectation in terms of the price or the time it takes to get it sold, I mean, there's no point for us to work together, right?
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, that would probably be the only time.
Okay.
Okay, and let's quickly go over the question I asked you over the phone so that we're on the same page. You said you're selling because you already bought a property and you don't want to carry 2 mortgages.
Correct.
Okay, and then you would like to get it sold for the same reason as soon as you can.
Right.
Yeah, and you would like to price your home more at $465,000.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Okay, and you owe just about 180.
180.
Good for you. Now, you never thought about selling yourself.
No, it's not my area of expertise. No.
Yeah. Okay, and you do want your money out.
Correct.
Fantastic. So, Robert, fortunately, in today's market, there's only 2 issues we have to look at.
Okay.
Number 1 is your motivation to sell this home. And number 2 is the price we set on your home. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. And that's why I prepare what we call a comparative market analysis. It's in that email I sent you.
Right.
And there are 2 parts to this research. Part 1, we sometimes jokingly call that the fantasy land. Now, that's where a lot of homeowners want to list their home for. Sometimes they get sold, a lot of time they don't. I mean, have you seen homes like that that's been on the market forever?
Yeah, I mean, there was a home that was on the market, seems like, for like 2 years and 5 different agents not too long ago.
Yeah, did you see spider web growing on their yard sign?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's not what you want, right?
No.
Okay, and that brings us to the other part. The second part of the report is what we call reality. And that's where professional agent like myself actually list and sell home for. So we have to decide today in which of the 2 areas we're gonna spend the time on. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. So the purpose of this comparative market analysis is to determine the value of your home in the eyes of a buyer. Robert, do you know how buyers determine value?
I imagine you have an answer to that already.
Well, it's actually, you already know it, but it's actually pretty simple. To put it in layman's terms, buyers determine value by comparison shopping.
Okay.
So they'll look at the price of your home based on its feature and benefit. And then they're going to compare it with similar home on its feature and benefit that are either on the market or recently sold. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. And I usually like to give my client an example of a car because I think people buy more cars than houses during their lifetime.
Sure.
So let's say you're out shopping for a vehicle and you go to this dealership number 1 and now they have the car you like for $50,000. And knowing you being a smart shopper, you comparison shop.
Right.
So you go to the second dealership and they have the same car also for $50,000, except it's got an upgraded stereo system and upgraded rim. Now, which of the two is more valuable to you?
Well, if they're both 50,000, then I might as well go for the one with the upgraded stereo and rims.
The one with the upgrades. Why?
I get more stuff for the same price.
Yeah, and I think most people would agree with you. More stuff for the same price. Why not, right? Yeah. Now, what if the first dealership decided to lower the price to 40,000? Now, which is a better value?
Well, for me individually, I would probably take the one for 40,000.
Mm-hmm. What changed your mind?
Well, I mean, I don't really need the rims or stereo compared to the $10,000 discount. I'd rather have the $10,000.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you can live without those, but 10,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you want, you can actually put those upgrades yourself too, according to what you like, right?
Right.
Yeah. So from this example, you can see buying a house is very similar for a buyer. In order to increase the value of your home in the eyes of a buyer, you can either lower the price like the first dealership, or have more feature and benefit for the same or similar price like the second one. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to ask you yesterday. Are you thinking about adding more feature and benefit to your home?
No, I don't have time for that. It's good to go. I just want to sell it.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with you. Then price is the only issue. Can I show you what I mean?
Sure.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share with my screen with you.
Okay.
So let me know if you can see it.
I can see it.
Okay, great. And are you able to see the mouse moving?
Yes.
Okay, great. And since we're not face to face, if anytime I'm going too fast, scrolling up or page down, stuff like that, let me know. Okay, I'll slow down.
Sounds good.
Okay. So before we jump in, I'd like to share with you on how the market is doing in general. Okay, so this is all the active listing in Riverside today. Okay, so this is how the listing amount being changed. Now let's look at the end. That's right now. So in which direction is the market inventory going?
It's going down.
It is going down, right? So that's good news for you, because if there are less competition, less seller on the market, what do you think that will do to the price?
Should move it up.
It should move it up, right? Okay, so that's a good news. And now let's look at the pending sales. So this tells us the demand on the market. And same thing, look at what direction it's going.
It's going up.
It's going up. So we're in a market right now that with less inventory and more people buying for the house. Would you say this is a good time to sell your home?
Yep.
Yeah. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen, weeks, month down the road, but you do want to capture this moment, right?
Yep.
Okay. So that's just dive into the comparative market analysis. Okay. So what I did is I pull all very similar homes to yours in the neighborhood. And so the purple one is going to be your home. And then these other ones are the comparables. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. The red one is the ones that are sold. That is sold. And then the orange one ones are in escrow. And the good news for you is it's on par with the inventory chart. There's not a lot of additional competition on the market.
Okay.
Okay. So let's take a look at the first one. So 4421 Eagle Flyway. And let's look at how many bedrooms?
4.
How many bath?
3.
And what's the square footage?
2401. So
2401, right?
almost pretty close to my size house.
Yeah, just tiny bit larger.
Right.
And just bear in mind, so this is built in 2016 and then yours is built in 2000.
Right.
Okay, so this property is newer than yours. Now, have you seen this house?
No.
No? That's okay. Let's take a look at the photo. So, I mean, it's built in 2016, so everything is upgraded.
Right. So
now, based on what the market is telling us, this property is slightly better than yours, being it's newer upgrades, slightly bigger in terms of the square footage, and then about what 15 years newer.
Right.
Okay, so let's look at how much they sold it for.
465.
465, right? And look how long it took them to sell it.
11 days.
11 days. And Robert, bear in mind, 11 days is actually just the marketing time. So we would still want to put another 30 to 45 days on top of that to complete the escrow. Now, so that brings us to about 45 to 60 days, a month and a half and 2 months. Would that timeline work for you? get you sold, closed in 2 months?
I mean, it's as quickly as possible. So if the quickest we can do it is 45 to 60 days, then that's the quickest we can do it.
Okay, so this strategy would work. This pricing strategy would work for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and let's look at the next one. So this one is 5374 Mission Rockway, and
Right.
same thing. Let's look at how many bedrooms.
4,
What's the bath?
3,
And also very similar, right? What's the square footage?
2401.
Yeah, same, just like that last one. And
Right.
then it is also built, it's the same track as that one. So this one is built in 2017 as well.
Mhm.
Now, have you seen this one?
No.
No? Okay, don't worry, let's quickly take a look. So very similar to the last one that was sold at 465,
Right.
right? And let's take a look how long it took them to sell it.
89 days.
89 days. Can I share with you why the first one took 11 days and this one takes 89 days?
Please.
Yeah, so look at the difference. So this one was listed at 479 and the other one was listed at 465 when they sold it. Now, if you're a buyer, two very similar home for sale on the market, one is listed for 465, the other is listed for 480, which is a better value to you?
465.
Yeah, it's just like that car example, right? The
Right.
one with the lower price, buyers see more value and they're going to put an offer in that one. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So buyer will put an offer in the house that they think more valuable. It can either be lower price or more feature and benefit for a similar price.
Got it.
Okay. So Robert, now that we've seen these prices, what price do you think we should use in order to create value in the eyes of a buyer and get someone to buy your home versus the competition?
Probably 455.
Okay. Yeah, actually, that's the price I'm gonna recommend. Based on what we know on the market, I'm gonna I'm gonna recommend a price of 458,000. So, Robert, will you list your home with me for that price today?
Well, okay. So, I mean, the price is fine, Jack. I guess, the other question I had is, I saw in your net sheet that you had 5.5% total commission.
Mm-hmm.
So the other agent, I haven't interviewed them yet, but they did let me know that they were going to be working at 4% total commission. So I'm just curious, what is it that you do differently that warrants 5.5% commission?
That's an important question too. Do you remember the pre-listing package? This one I sent you? Did you recall seeing this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me share with you. So this is my plan of objection to when it comes to helping a client sell their house. Can I go through this with you?
Sure.
Okay, so first one is to assist in getting as many qualified prospective buyer as possible into your home until it is sold. Now, Robert, regardless which agent you hire, and I certainly hope it's me, I mean, is that the kind of service, kind of activity you would expect your agent do on a daily basis to get your home sold?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, the second one is to communicate weekly with the results of our effort and activity. Now, Robert, do you know what the number one complaint a seller has for agent is?
No.
No? Yeah, it's actually once they take the listing and then they become a secret agent. Seller never heard from them again. Yeah, so I take customer service very seriously. So that's why I dedicate a portion of my schedule on a weekly basis to make sure I communicate to every single client of mine. And normally I do this on Tuesday between 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. With this number, what's a good number? Is your cell phone number a good number for me to call you during that time?
Yeah.
And would that time work for you too?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So the number 3 objective is to use our expertise and negotiation skill to make sure we negotiate the highest dollar amount for your home, whether it's one buyer or multiple buyer. I mean, is getting the most money important for you, Robert?
Yeah.
It is, right? And based on our conversation, do you feel like I can do a good job for you and get you the most money?
Probably.
Probably. Then sounds like you made the decision already. All we need to do now is simply sign the contract and put me to work.
But don't most agents kind of have that? I mean, isn't that the objective for all the agents?
Yes. Some people, saying it louder than actually done. So Robert, let me ask you this. If sounds like commission is still an issue, you want to see why I'm charging a little bit more, right?
Yeah, I don't mind paying it.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know what's the difference between 4% agent and 5.5% agent.
Okay, sure. And so now, Robert, if we can get an agreement on what I do, why to justify why I charge a higher commission, will you list your home with me?
Probably.
Okay, yeah. So the answer to that is actually the result. The difference between a 4% agent and an agent charging full commission is the result. May I share?
Sure.
Okay. So this is median percentage original price. So what this is saying, my comparison, my track record compared to the city of Riverside and then the entire MLS. What this says is that the entire MLS, if an agent takes a listing at $100, they're going to sell it at 99.2% of that. So they're going to sell it at $99.2. Okay. And whenever I take a listing, I go above and beyond. I actually give my client 101.3%. Now that's 2% more than the average agent.
Yep.
And based on your price point, just short of $500,000, we're looking at $10,000. So the question is, would you rather pay less and get less, or would you rather to pay more, hire an agent that can represent you properly and not leave any money on the table?
Well, I'd rather have the agent that can get me more.
Yeah. So all we need to do now is sign here and put me to work.
Okay, but I mean, my last thing is that I did tell that other agent that I was going to interview them.
Okay, sure. Okay, no problem. Yeah, we get this a lot too, and I do respect that you're a man of your word. So to start our professional relationship in a professional manner, I don't mind doing this. I'm gonna call the agent for you, and then do you know what I'm gonna tell him?
What are you gonna say?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him that you think he's great, but I convinced you to list your home with me first. And this is what we'll do. We'll give them the first right to take a look at the house and bring a buyer so he can also earn his portion of commission. Would that work?
Sure.
Okay, so all we need to do is sign now. I'm gonna send the DocuSign to you, and I'm gonna give you a call back in 5 minutes. Just make sure you got it and everything looks okay. Fair enough?
Sounds fair.
Yeah, Robert, thank you again for the opportunity. I'm really excited to get you moved and then get you top dollar.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, way to go, Jack Ma.
Hey, Jack, way to go. Woo.
I forgot to unshare the screen after the, but
okay, it's okay, buddy. Wow, that was great. That was very good, Jack. All right, so feedback for Mr. Jack Ma. What did we get out of this? Good, bad, indifferent, questions?
Okay, my first feedback is Jack has a great smile. Good job. Always got that face looking happy about what's going on. Really made a good impression. Love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's why the ladies love him. No, but it's true. He's Jack. You're always smiling, and because you do that as the person being sold. My part in this, I never feel overly pressured. I never feel like you're just they say no one wants to be sold, right? That no one wants to be sold. I never feel like I'm being sold because you're smiling, you're so, good energy and things like that. It just feels like a conversation. Very good. Good stuff. What else? What else did we get? What other feedback you got for Jack?
He knows his scripts and ask a lot of questions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he certainly knows his scripts. I mean, he said at the very beginning, I might refer down to my notes, but at no point was he and going through it. He knows his stuff. That's really just there as a fallback. That's a great point. Good. What else? What other feedback or questions or anything?
And I want to say one more thing. The last one, the graph, it's really powerful, you know. The one he sold is 101.3, the other is 99, the other one is lower. I think that could, just that alone could get a seller to sign the contract.
I
It's a very powerful tool.
I think that graph is great. And because I've been working with Jack for a while now, he's been using that for quite a while. And it's facts that they can't argue with. I'm going to get you 2%. On average, I'll get my sellers 2% more than the other agents. I mean, but what the key to that Jack does is he puts it in dollar amount. So Mr. and Mr. Seller, for a $500,000 house like yours, that's almost $10,000. That's the key, because to some people it's 1%, it's 2%. The number doesn't seem that big of a deal. 10 grand, that's a big deal. That's the key to that. It's a great point. Yulin, you were going to say something?
Yeah, that's the homework that from Jack. I think it's really good. I like it too. I think it really help. And that's way to handle the objection. So I think it's really smart. Yeah.
It's great. It's great. Yeah, I mean, it's a really key thing. And I went down that path because I wanted him to do a little bit more. Now, I knew ahead of time he was going to have that graph. But when he was going through the plan of action, that's why I kept pushing back a little bit more, like, well, doesn't everybody do that? Isn't that part of the gig? Like, because you get that sometimes, right? Well, yeah, doesn't every agent call people? Now, they don't, but they say they do, right? I'm going to do all this big marketing. So in the size of a seller, it might seem different. So you got to have 2 or 3 different ways of handling that. Very good. All right, what else? What else do we have for Mr. Jack Ma?
He used InfoSparks and showed the market to the seller right away. I thought that was terrific.
Boy, I tell you, if there was only somebody in this company that was pushing InfoSparks like crazy, I don't know. There was just somebody,
I am
anybody
under
in
pressure.
this company that was just pushing InfoSparks. Man, I tell you. There you go. What did Neil say? Jack's very coachable.
Yeah, I think that's pertaining to the first question on the prequel. He was all like, and got me distracted.
He was very excited. He was very excited that you were doing that. But it's true. The InfoSparks, I've been pushing that like crazy on people. You know, but you know, some of you use it. Some of you still don't know how to get to it. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job.
Robert,
Yeah.
I've role played with Jack a couple of times, and I think he is way above, way better than now, because he practiced. The great part about this presentation is he has given a lot of information to the seller, which made the seller feel very comfortable, and the information was very informative. Like, I like the way he presented his CMA, which is really good, very detailed as far as when he presented that. And especially the time when we were talking about the days in the market, right? And he made a comparison between, you know, the difference about that price. That one was, however, shorter day, and it was a longer day, which is really a segue already where, look, you dealing with the seller knowing that if they were to have it at a higher price, then they'll have a problem selling it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I thought it was good. I thought it was very good.
Like hard pressure sell, but it's more of a information, which is great.
Yeah.
Jack.
Thank you.
Yeah. I thought it was good too. You know, he let the markets the market told them it was time to sell. His job is just to convince them that he's the right one.
Robert,
Yeah.
he had all of his slides ready to go just like that.
Hmm.
We need to work on that.
Yep. The two
Yeah.
things, Josie, to your point that I try to push is being able to share right away and having the stuff highlighted so people don't have to go around the screen. And Jack had both of them ready to share right away and all the tabs and all the stuff, if you notice, was highlighted. So when he was asking me how many bedrooms, I didn't have to look around the screen and go 4. It was highlighted 4, 3, square footage. Those are the two main things in a virtual listing presentation, because face-to-face you can point, okay? Now, I don't know about you, but I get caught pointing at my screen all the time and you can't see it, okay? But so you have to highlight, you have to be able to do something so they show it. So it's a great point. It's a great point. I thought that was very good. Very good. Very good.
So may I ask, Robert, Jack, you download like those 2 pages of InfoSparks and then you have them just ready to go? I saw them at the top of your screen.
Yeah, so it's just PDF Adobe Acrobat Reader. So
Yeah.
I just open multiple files, and then I just basically it's the entire pre-listing package I send to Robert, because you never know when they're gonna bring something up and have question on the package. So I just open everything ahead of time. And
The last slide from the MLS showing your percentage versus the others, I don't remember seeing that.
I can show you how to do it later on too. Yeah, it's from InfoSpark as well. Yeah, you just have to play it with it a little bit, and just change the graph styles and the time frame. The one I'm showing is year to date. So
Good job.
Thank you.
Jack, what
Robert,
CMA do you use?
it's the Cloud CMA from the MLS.
Got it. Okay. Good. Hey, real quick, can you share your comps again real quick? I want to try to help out with something real quick.
I think I closed it. Hold on one second.
Okay. All right, while he's doing that, what else? Any other feedback we have for Mr. Jack Ma? Questions for Jack?
Can I ask Jack to show us how to do that graph? I've never done one.
Okay, I can do that. Sure. Let me open that Robert's CMA first. CMA.
You know, with the other thing, okay.
Where do you need me to be?
Go to the comps. Okay. You may want to, depending on the person, make this bigger.
I kept on forgetting. You know, there's multiple role play partner reminded me that, because I have a 27-inch screen, so it's already huge on my screen. But yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
So just you know that plus minus button right up there under seller's net sheet. Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you.
That may help just make it a little bit bigger, things like that. But I also noticed on this one, if you scroll down, the original list price was $449. Yeah, so in this particular seller, that's an even bigger point too, is to say, hey, look, you know, this one sold at $465 in 11 days, but it was listed at $449. So we need to price it aggressively. Otherwise, we list the second one at $470 something.
Yeah, $470.
89 days.
Yeah.
You know,
normally I go through
the original point that out. I know you know that, but I wanted to point that out as for those of you going through a CMA, this is the aggressive pricing strategy really works. I like, Jack, how you show the pictures as well, because there's some sellers, well, my home is so great, my home is this, my home is that, and to be able to quickly go through the pictures to show that's a very helpful thing. So I think that's really good as well. You keep the comps pretty basic, pretty easy to follow. I mean, from a standpoint of a seller going through a virtual presentation, you made it very easy for me, which was good. So I thought that was really great. You obviously have a lot of confidence. You know the scripts very well. You know the objection handlers very well. I know you were, I know you were probably a little annoyed with me that I kept throwing more stuff at you, but you never showed it. It was, you went through the plan of action, and I was like, yeah, but, and I'm sure in your head you're like, dude, like, come on, let's get this over with. And I'm like, yeah, but you just kept smiling. You didn't you didn't and you're like, here, let me show you the graphs. Okay. And then you wanted to sign, and I was like, yeah, but, and you were probably like, oh,
Hey, Robert.
yes.
Jack, I really like how you show all the pictures instead of just the first 12, which is the preset for Cloud CMA. It seems like they only normally show 12, and sometimes it's like only exterior photos. You don't even get to see the good parts, and then you don't even see it. So I like how it looks where you show all the photos, and I actually prefer this over the slideshow because it's less movement. You just scroll up and down, and people can focus on the photos more at once versus just clicking through a slide button. I think when there's too much movement, it's just really distracting to the presentation. So the way you have it laid out looks really good. So thank you.
Sometimes I would even highlight the descriptions and just kind of go through the upgrades before we jump into the photo. So I think because we really had to to get the price, we really had to sell the CMA, sell the price we were recommending. So I think those are information that will get them to realities just based on the description, the photos.
Right. And I like how you made notes in the red about, which property is better and why. Maybe those are notes for you and you didn't necessarily share them, but it was nice to see those little.
Actually, I did. So I do. That's something new since I started the virtual one. And I think I'm going to leave it as, even if the physical, I'm going to leave those notes in there because those are fact. I'm not putting any opinion. Your property is smaller. They can't argue with that, but it just drives that idea into their head.
Right. Cool. Great job. Thank you.
I like the notes, Jack. I thought that was really good. I mean, you look at, man, you knocked it out of the park. And so I thank you again for doing that, but you knocked it out. You did an amazing job, even though you were a little nervous. So that's you nervous. Imagine what he is when he's not being watched by 35 people. So the point is this, okay? So some of you hopefully watched that and went, I got to get better. Because some of you probably watched that and said, okay, I can do that. You're right. You're at his level or whatever the case may be. But I say this all the time, is that you have to imagine that someone like Neil Weichel has decided to expand his business and he's now taking listings in your market area, and that the seller is going to interview him. You got to be good enough to be able to compete with that. Well, Jack just showed that you have to assume that the seller, that if you're prospecting them, Jack's probably prospecting them too. And that means that if Jack gets a shot at the listing presentation, it's going to be good. So you've got to be at least that good or better. Otherwise, he's just going to kick everyone's ass and take everyone's listing, which he does at a really high level anyways. But we always have to assume there's a really great agent that they're also going to interview. So you have to constantly get better.
Can I share something?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna share the screen later on too on that InfoSpark. But I think the biggest difference is that since the COVID, I was in a role play group with presentations. It was for the first month, I think, since mid-April. It was done on a daily basis. I may not be the one that's role playing every day. I get my opportunity once out of that two weeks period. But I was listening to people role play, listening to how people handle the objection. And from third person's point of view, a lot of time, you can hear that, he didn't answer the objection. And then you just start to make a note of, you're more aware of what the seller is really asking. And I think that was the, biggest thing. I know Neil wants us to do either present or role play every day. But I mean, even if just being in a group and then watching other people role play, that's tremendous help too.
That's great.
Yeah. Let me share that So for the info spark, if you want to pull your number, so I don't think, first of all, I don't think they showed it on the line graph. So you have to switch it to a bar graph. And then you have to do it on a 1 year basis. And then you want to change it to year to date. So these are the three things you want to do. So bar, year to date, and then 1 year. And then, so now, it's now showing the MLS. So if you just go down to percentage original price. And then, I mean, it's the entire MLS, so it takes them a while to crunch the number. Yeah, so that's where that number comes from. And then you can just add in your ID or your name. Oh, mine dropped a little bit. and then the other thing is you want to play with it to see if you have an average is higher or median is higher. Just use the higher one. People don't understand the difference between average or, so I should print a new one with an average now. All right, so the average and the median.
I agree.
So they basically can hire me for free. It's 5% higher. Yeah, so that's how you do the so just change it to the bar, 1 year and year to date. And then normally I just show the entire MLS and my, sometimes I will add the city I'm presenting in if they are saying that they want to hire an agent that's local.
I like that one even more.
Oh, yes.
Jack, I think you should print this and mail it to everybody in Diamond Bar.
Jack, this is Riverside. Do you do that many listings in Riverside?
No, I don't. So that's why I had the Riverside on there when I did it. It was a COI, and I helped him bought the Phillips Ranch property. So, but this is Diamond Bar. So this is Diamond Bar.
Did you include this this page to the client or just for your presentation only?
I do put it in the package, but without you can't expect them to understand.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, you can, but just they'll figure like this must be something good, right? You're showing me this, and then you have a higher number. I put it in there.
Okay. Thank you.
And then I would also put there's the days on market. And the same thing, you just find an average or median. So this way you can also show, hey, I don't just sell it quick. See, yeah, I may be taking about 5 days more, but I'm getting you 5% more. Would you want like it to stay for 1 more week, but get 5% more? So it works together.
Or just don't show that page.
Yeah, or just don't show that page. Yeah, that works too. But I figured this is not big enough a difference to really make or break a deal. It's only 5 days. Yeah, so, but you get to decide what you want to put in there.
That's great. That's great. Well, buddy, I really appreciate this. You stepping up here and doing this presentation for us, and then doing a little bit extra, showing us info sparks. I really do appreciate it. So,
not at all.
I think everyone got a lot out of that. You're a rock star. You're a superstar. So you just keep plugging away, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Superstar that you are. So, all right, give Jack a round. All right.
Thank you for watching.
Jack Ma, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Jack, thank you.
Buddy, you're the best.
Good job, Jack.
Thank you.
There
Thank
go.
you very much.
You got